What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream, and happy Monday, people. As listen, a big week for Arsenal Football Club. Chelsea at home tomorrow, Tottenham away on Sunday. Man, this really is I'd say this is crunch time for Arsenal. You know, I think a week ago a lot of us felt like we were out the title race after that Villa game. We kind of restored clarity a little bit with the victory against Wolves. If we've got any chance of staying in this title race, anything less than 2 wins this week is not going to be enough. And we need to beat 2 of the London rivals. Apologies for coming a couple minutes late there to the stream. I was waiting for Arteta. Arteta's press conference was supposed to be 1:30, and it started about 2 minutes ago. So we'll have to leave waffle settings until the end of the show, unfortunately, because the transcript won't go onto the website for at least half an hour. So yeah, he's doing his press conference right now. But listen, big up everyone in the chat. Hope you're well. Happy Monday, new week, new blessings. Let's go. Hey, look, Big C Yard Man in here, Tampa, Florida. Big up to you. Cooper, big up the Twitch gang as well. It says big up Curtis. Colton Cole Palmer. Hey, listen, we'll talk about him. Maybe he's ducking out of his responsibilities, man. He don't want the smoke against Arsenal. Daily Dusan is back, people. Kind of not surprised every time we need a striker. Dusan's name pops up. If he ain't talking about leaving at the end of the season, I don't want no more Arteta waffle. Salmon, jeez, keep that quiet, man. You know how much trouble they've given me this last 7 days. Hey, it's mad. Trevor said, Curtis, before the football talk, your view about Chris Brown 2-pack. Like I said, people, maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm getting older, and I have to move with the times. Because I'm listening to the Drake diss track. I'm listening to J. Cole apologize. I'm listening to the Kendrick diss. And I'm underwhelmed. They're all right, but it's the big three. It's just big me. I mean, that ain't no major diss track, bro. They're not. And then I'm hearing Chris Brown, you know, breezy. R&B singer, tattoos on the neck, blonde hair. Chris Brown, R&B. He's making harder diss records than some of these rappers. I'm saying, what's going on? R&B singers are going, he's going for Quavo's, oh, he's proper going for him. And then now, AI. I heard Tupac. I heard Tupac dissing Kendrick. I said, I don't know. I don't know, people. Maybe I'm a bit... like I said, I grew up in the 50 Cent generation. When they dissed you, they said your name and they dissed everything about you. You know? Clickety-clank, the money goes into my piggy bank. All of that business. You know what I mean? Now the R&B... Nah, I have to say, though, I tip my hat to Chris Brown. Like, yo, it's a serious diss track. When I heard what he was saying, I said, raw. You know what I mean? Quavo, Migos and all that. Bro, you better do something. You can't let the R&B guy talk about you like that. But, hey, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, big up. Hip-hop talk, hip-hop conversation. Let's talk Arsenal. The football weekend was crazy, by the way. What about Man United yesterday? 3-0 up against Coventry. They scrape it on penalties. The offside rule is crazy, isn't it? Literally millimetres away from knocking Man United out. You know, with that last-minute winner, but they got away with it, and it is what it is. Manchester Derby FA Cup final. I look at everything, and I always think, how does that affect Arsenal? I actually think it would have been better for Arsenal if Man United were knocked out, because we play United second to last game of the season. I think their season would have been over. Now, there's still going to be a little bit of motivation in the league, because if you're a player, you're going to want to secure your place in the team for that FA Cup game. And we play Man United second to last game of the season. United's game is a week after the season finishes in the cup final. But let's be honest. And listen, Jonas says it here. I say this all the time. People think I'm being a conspiracy theorist. And, oh, that's not how it works in England. Listen. Look at Forest yesterday. Forest, my hometown club. Should have had 3 penalties against Everton, didn't get one of them. The guy that's running the VAR is a Luton Town fan. Luton and Forest are the 2 teams fighting for relegation. You do the maths. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm on VAR. Us and Man City are going for the title. Haaland gets clipped, goes down for the penalty. I'm the head of the VAR. I'm sitting there. Remember, there's no camera on me. There's no microphone. You don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying this to the ref. Yeah, no penalty. No penalty, mate. Nah, there wasn't a lot of contact there. He doesn't give the penalty. Next minute, I'm at the parade when Arsenal win it. Simple as that. Let's just be real. You think I'm giving Man City a penalty in a title race if I'm on the VAR? Yeah, no penalty, mate. Minimal contact. In fact, no contact. I think he dived. No penalty. Now, let me tell you something. You think the FA are sitting there thinking, I tell you what would be great for English football. 25th of May, Manchester City against Coventry City FA Cup final. You think the country's going to be hyped for that game? You think content creators are doing watch-alongs for Man City against Coventry? Come on. Would you be bothered about that game? I wouldn't be bothered. The FA sat there, they said, listen, we got to protect the brand, protect the product. We cannot have Man City against Coventry in the final. They want Man United against Man City, Manchester derby. You know, even if they had to make that line a bit squiggly, they weren't going to allow that goal to stand. When the goal went in, I didn't even celebrate. I said, they're not going to give that. It was close. You could see it was close. So, let's be real. I say this all the time. English football, best league in the world. Referees are awful. The VAR is absolutely shambolic. The clubs turn down semi-automated offsides. Why? When it's the best technology you can use in the world for offsides. Yet Premier League clubs said no to it. Now they've had to take it. Why do they say no to it? Because they probably don't want offsides being given. They say, you know what, let's look after the big club. English football crazy. And this is what I'm saying, people. I'm here for the people. I probably just cost myself some work with the Premier League talking like that. They said, no, cross his name off. We were going to get him on Match of the Day or the Premier League show. Cross him off. I'm here for the people. Corruption. So, yeah, anyway, let's move on. United, though, why? They were fortunate. They were fortunate yesterday. And I'm going to be honest, Rashford, you know, I can't defend you much longer, bro. I've been trying this, you know, I'm a man of the culture and all that. Yo, Rashford, bring him to Arsenal. Baller just needs a better coach. I can't defend that for much longer. I mean, Marcus Rashford, they better call him something else. Call him Mark. Call him Mark Rash. Cut some of that name off. You know what? He played like Mark Goldbridge yesterday. Never mind Marcus Rashford. Big up Goldbridge. They'd have been better off having him. He started limping off as well. Now he's limping. It's this blonde hair him and Saka got in the summer. I don't know what's happened to him. It came with a free limp. Trust me, just call him Mark Rash from now on. That ain't Marcus Rashford from Withamshire, Manchester. That's Mark Rash from Stockport. So, yeah, I don't... Mark Trashford, whatever. I don't know who that is. But, yeah, he needs to leave there, man. I don't know what's going on with him. But, hey, it's a mad one. It's a mad one still. Nah, big up Goldbridge, though. Big up... he got some crazy numbers yesterday, man. I see 100,000 people in his live when Coventry equalised, man. Big up. Anyway, let's move on, people. I'm only briefly, by the way... And yeah, that's the final thing. We look at it and we go, listen, you know the last 7 days on this channel, and if you follow me on Twitter, it's been crazy. I've said a lot and other people have said a lot. But ultimately, it comes out of frustration with Arsenal Football Club. I don't know about anybody else, but I watched Chelsea lose to Man City. I watched Man United beat Coventry. They've got an all Manchester derby final. As an Arsenal fan, I'd love to be in that final. I'd love it to be Arsenal against Manchester United a week after the season finishes. Wembley, 80,000, massive watch-along. And this is my point with Arsenal. While things are going well, we should be making finals. We should be winning trophies. But, hey, I've spoken about that a lot over the past week, and we'll continue to talk about it. Listen, I'm briefly going to go... Let me just get this super chat quick. Ambient Guitar said, United going through helps us. Focus for them is the FA Cup. Yeah, that's the good point. Maybe they will rest players, but I'm not sure, actually. My thought process was if they got knocked out, this season would have just gone flat. Where now, at least for their point of view, their players are going to be motivated to get in the team for the FA Cup final when they play us. So, yeah, maybe it goes for us, maybe against us. A couple of bits of news to talk about. I'm only briefly going to go over the game against Wolves. I know, obviously, I usually do player ratings and all of that. We are going to go through it quickly, but there's a lot to get through today. And the game was a couple of days ago now, so I'm not going to delve into it too much. 2-0 win. Trossard, lovely goal posting in. Odegaard, nice finish at the near post. Game over. It wasn't a classic. And I said before the game, the result is more important than the performance. 24 shots, 9 on target, 54% possession, 3 shots on target for Wolves. Wolves didn't offer anything apart from the one mistake that Kivior made where they hit the post. They had teenagers playing. Their manager said before the game they've already achieved their target, which was to stay in the Premier League, which was a strange thing for a manager to say, really. Very open and honest, but not many managers would say that. I almost think Wolves were on the beach during this game. We got the job done. I'm not going to talk about it for too long. Player ratings, I'm going to skip through it quickly. I'm going to be honest, because I think really I want to focus on tomorrow's game against Chelsea, and we got some transfer news to talk about as well. David Raya, again, I've said a lot about him in the last week, but let me give him some credit. He's on his way to the Golden Glove. I thought he had a really, really good game. That save that he made in the first half was imperative. You know, Wolves would have been a goal up. We were under a lot of pressure after the Bayern Munich game. The pressure would have been through the roof. It's a fantastic reaction save at the near post. I give him 8.5. I'm freestyling these, by the way. I haven't written down any player ratings. Ben White, I thought had a really good game. Some lovely passes down the line to Saka. I'll give him 8 out of 10. Kivior at left back. I don't want to annihilate him because after the mistake, he did all right, but that mistake can cost you the game. So I am only going to give him a 6. Some people may say that's harsh. To me, that's like a striker missing a clear-cut chance. And I would criticise a striker for that. Kivior, we got away with that. So I think I'm being kind even giving him a 6. He played well after the mistake. I was going to give him a 5. In fact, the more I think about it, I'm tempted. No, we'll give him... I'm going to give him a 5.5. I'm going to give him a 5.5. He could have cost us the game. He could have cost us the game. That's how I'm looking at it. No, we're not. This ain't the nursery. I'm not babysitting. He did well after the mistake, but it could have cost us. 5.5, I think, is fair. 2 centre-backs. Hardly had anything to do. 7.5, light work. Gabriel and Saliba, same thing. Striker Hwang didn't do anything. They pocketed him. Light work for them. Let's go into the midfield. Odegaard, I didn't think was that good, but the goal turns it into a better performance. It is going to be a fast player rating. The game feels like it was ages ago anyway. If David Raya gets one more clean sheet, he's mathematically won the Golden Glove. Well, he'll get that definitely. Gabriel mistake. What did Gabriel do? I can't even remember his mistake. The game wasn't great, to be honest. I actually can't remember his mistake. Remind me. Odegaard, I give a 7. I thought he played at probably a 6, but the goal puts him up to a 7. Important. Declan Rice. Saliba. It was that pass, wasn't it, Dre? You're right. Played a crazy pass into the middle. Yeah, no, and he's been doing that a little bit the last few games, you know. I didn't like that. Yeah, that's a good point. Thermal, yeah, you meant Saliba. Yeah, no, that was a poor pass. That was a poor pass. Yeah, Odegaard, I give a 7. Declan Rice. I can't really remember how Rice played. He was all right. He got on the ball. We weren't troubled. Wasn't it interesting, people? And I tweeted this and we spoke about it. Declan Rice, how good did he look when Thomas Partey came on that pitch? And I know it was only for 11 minutes plus time added on. Our second goal came because of his driving runs into midfield. He looked a totally different player. Because I think Declan Rice knows that when Partey's there, he can get forward and he knows I've got a guy, an experienced defensive midfielder who is powerful, who is going to be able to win the ball back. When it's Jorginho, I don't think he fully trusts him. Not in terms of his quality on the ball, in terms of his defensive ability. He's not strong, he's not tall, he's not quick. You've got to get them two together. And I'm going to talk about this when we select our possible team for tomorrow, we have got to see that midfield. I'll give Rice a 7. Partey is like having a spotter in the gym. That there is absolutely brilliant. You know when you're in the gym, you're doing bench press, you want to put the extra plate on either side, but you're like, yo, I'm in the gym by myself. If this goes wrong, I can end up with weights on my chest, you know, calling out for help. When you got Partey there, you grab a couple plates, put them on. Even if you can push a couple reps, you know you got the big guy there that can just lift it up. You've absolutely smashed it. In fact, we'll end the stream. No, really, I'm joking. You're right. He's the spotter in the gym, you know. But without him, the balance ain't really there. So we're pushing light weights. You've absolutely smashed it there. Hey, we got a Chelsea fan in here. I don't know what you got so much to laugh about, bro. Anyway, Kai Havertz. I watched the highlights back, not the full game. I didn't watch the full game because I wasn't convinced I could watch the full game without falling asleep. It was a snore fest. I'm going to be real. Watching it, I didn't think he did much, right? And watching it back, I still don't think he was involved that much, but I'm not a hater. He puts the cross in that leads to the first goal and he gets the assist for Odegaard's goal and he had a couple decent volleys on target. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to give him a 7. Right? I think I'm being kind there. In that midfield role, he's there to try and affect the game in terms of the goals. And he did get an assist. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I wrote down 6. I might even be being too kind giving him a 7. I'm going to give him 6.5. It's too high. Yeah, it's too high. I was going to give him a 7. I thought... I don't know. He's the most confusing player I've ever watched. It's like he don't do anything. And then you go online and a whole heap of people saying he did do stuff. He had a couple shots on target. He got an assist. What do you guys reckon? 5. Come on, bro. 7. You should be a 4. You're too kind. Always think 5.5. 6.5. I think 6.5 is fair. I do. I think he was better than Kivior, and I gave Kivior 5.5. Let's be honest. Kivior made a big mistake that could have cost us the game. So I'm not going to give Havertz less than Kivior. So I got to give him a 6 because he got an assist. 6.5. I think that's kind. I think I'm being fair there. Assist and pre-assists are crazy, aren't they? Because people were saying it's a pre-assist, but he's crossed the ball in. And Jesus has managed to bring it down, turn, pass it to Trossard. Trossard slaps it in. And then, I don't know. I wish they did pre-assist when I played football. You know, it's crazy. 6.5 is very fair in my opinion, but I don't want to see Havertz playing in midfield. I'm sorry, I just don't. I don't want to talk about him for too long. Well, Gunnar Rami passed the ball to Odegaard. And I think Odegaard had a shot and it got blocked and then he scored the rebound. It was given as an assist. So, let's go to the front three. Bukayo Saka, I give him a 6. I thought he was average. I don't think he was terrible, but I don't know. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't good really either. It was probably better than some of the performances he's had the last few weeks, but I don't know. Again, he's confusing me. I don't know. I don't really know what he did in the game. Couple shots. All of his crosses were getting blocked. And you know what? I've just realised I gave Declan Rice a 7. He was man of the match. I'm giving him 8 out of 10. My apologies. Declan Rice, second half, was the best player on the pitch. 8 out of 10. I gave him a 7. That's outrageous. But Saka, he was just average again. I can't believe he played 90 minutes. Again, why are you not taking him off? I don't know. I don't want to say too much about him. I actually don't think he played that well. But again, I'm not going to give him the same rating as Kivior because Kivior could have cost us. I give Saka a 6. He didn't do enough for me. I thought that was a perfect opportunity to give him a bit of a break and he plays 90 and it's not really what you want. Resting for the remainder of the season. Bin it. Nah, we can't bin him, but Saka has yet to have a fantastic game this season. Start to finish like Foden or Palmer. Let's hope he does. He's had some good games start of the season. Second half, he's gone downhill. Big C, we all went crazy when Saka went poster players in the first few. Yeah, he did. And we're all desperate for Saka to play well because in reality, people, Saka can be instrumental in winning these next group of games. So we need more from him. And he's still our top scorer, yeah, 14 goals. But hey, Trossard, I'm going to give 7.5. It's goal tax. Sometimes in life, people, and I'm sure nearly every one of you in the comments has played football at some sort of level, right? Whether it's, amateur level, semi-pro, whatever, professional even. You know that a quality goal covers up the performance. I don't think Trossard played that well. But you score the goal that ultimately wins us the game and relieves all of the pressure. So, how'd you get on? Yeah, 1-1-0. Did you score? Yeah, I scored the winner. Posting in. You had a stormer. It's as simple as that. How'd you get on? Oh, I was unreal. I was everywhere, man. Non-stop. Linking up play on the ball. Did you score? No, I didn't score. Okay. Feels like you didn't play that well there. We've all been there. So that goal was absolutely vital. Did he mean to hit it like that? We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got great techers. I'm going to be honest. I think Trossard should play up front for Arsenal for these last few games. Now, don't get me wrong. There might be a game where you see a different kind of defender or we've got to play a different way and you go, okay, maybe I'll go Jesus. Maybe I'll go Havertz. I'm at the point now where Trossard false 9 that's my thought process. He's the best finisher at the club. In terms of the strikers. Jesus, not for me. Havertz, not for me. Trossard, yes. Can shoot from the edge of the box. Left foot, right foot, can curl it, can drill it. Low centre of gravity. I think you've got to get him in and around the penalty area. Like you said, Rosh, clutch. He is the clutch player of this team. You don't want Trossard left wing hugging the touchline trying to run past right backs. He's not that quick. I want Trossard in and around the penalty area. I know he missed the sitter against Villa, but I think that's where he should be playing. So I'm giving Trossard 7.5. Gabriel Jesus. I haven't written these ratings down, so I'm really trying to think quickly. I mean, got the assist for Trossard. It feels like it's Lacazette's nephew. The same thought process I had watching Lacazette in that last season for Arsenal, where I was consistently frustrated watching Lacazette up front. I feel exactly the same about Jesus. And for me, Jesus, honestly, I know this ain't Football Manager and you can't just sell 6 players whenever you feel like it. And he did get an assist and cool, but next season he needs to be on the bench. And if it was possible, I would genuinely get rid of Jesus and Eddie Nketiah in the summer and sign 2 strikers. I know it's not realistic and it's not going to happen, but I'm kind of at the end of the story with Gabriel Jesus. I'm kind of at the end of the, can we get more out of him? Can he get more goals? Is Jesus the answer? No, we now know how that story finishes. Jesus isn't the answer. Jesus now, for me, is a squad player. And I don't mind keeping him as a squad player. He can have impact off the bench. His link-up play is fairly good. He can play out wide. In terms of striker, goal scorer, winning me titles, that is Lacazette with a better hairline and some better cheekbones. That is all it is for me. So, if you've got a striker and you've got no faith he's going to score, then he's, that's not a good thing. However, I'll give him 6.5. He got an assist, and that's the best I can work with. And sometimes people say, "Oh, got an assist," but there's a big difference between me playing a 30-yard ball over the top that splits your defence in half, gets you one-on-one with the goalkeeper and you slot it in the corner. That's a bad boy assist. If I roll the ball to you from 5 yards away under zero pressure and you slap it in the top corner, I haven't exactly pulled up trees to set you up there. You know, that's the modern game, innit? They give you an assist for that. I can give you the ball on the halfway line. You can run past 5 players, bend it in the top corner, and I get an assist for that. That's the crazy thing about modern football. I feel like 10 years ago, you only got an assist if your pass led to the goal-scoring opportunity or you did something to open up the defence. But listen, it's the modern game. You know, they're doing expected goals and field tilt and pre-assists and all that now. It's wild. The game's gone stat mad, hasn't it? I think a lot of people now don't actually watch football. They just look at the assists to rate players, and they look at the stats. You know, it's like an analytic game now, isn't it? So Jesus 6.5. Yeah, we need more. Let's just go through the bench quick. Who actually came on in this game? Partey, listen, he freed up Declan Rice and Martinelli. I can barely remember Martinelli touching the ball. So let's leave it at that. Arteta, I'll give him 8 out of 10. Arteta gets 8 out of 10. A lot of pressure. Tough week. If we'd have drawn or lost that game, you know, it would have been season over. So they got the job done. The only reason I'm probably not going a bit higher, I would have liked to have seen Partey get more game time. Still no ESR off the bench. Fabio Vieira, we're still trying to figure out why we paid 35 million for a guy that never plays. So yeah, Smith Rowe and Partey. Partey should have got more game time, and Smith Rowe again, sub not used despite getting man of the match 2 weeks ago against Luton. So yeah, but 8 out of 10, back to business, won the game, top of the league, job done, and fair play to the boys. And obviously Liverpool beat Wolves. No, we beat Wolves. Liverpool beat Fulham 3-1, and they're level on points with us. Arsenal are 8 goals ahead on goal difference. Man City a point behind with a game in hand. So right, that game's out of the way. Let me I mean, Don said, Curtis, why do you keep calling for ESR? He's average. Do you know why I call for ESR? Because people think I cap for ESR on this channel. This is why I not only do I like him as a player, he's come through our system, right? He probably saved Arteta's job, was a big part of saving Arteta's job with them 10 goals that season. We lacked creativity. He came in, gets in the England squad, has an injury-prone year. This season he's been available for a lot of it. He started 2 Premier League games this season. 2. One against Luton, one against Forest. The Luton game, he got man of the match. So he's had 2 starts in the Prem. In one of them, he got man of the match. So I don't see how how he's played 12 games this season in the Premier League, and 2 of them have been starts. 10 off the bench. To me, to write a player off, you need to watch them. And also, he gives me interviews in America, so don't sell him until the tour finishes. To write a player off, I have to watch you play badly and then say, you're not that guy anymore. We haven't watched ESR play, bro. I've seen Havertz attacking midfield for half the season. And we've seen how that looked. So to me, ESR's still got something to offer. The guy hasn't hardly had a kick this season for me to write him off. But you know, we'll probably get rid of him in the summer. We'll get rid of him. There's talent there. If under different circumstances, we could have got him fully fit, rotated him and used him, and he should have got a lot more starts. The man's had 2 starts all season. So I don't see how we can write him off. The manager don't check for him. Can we say the same about Fabio Vieira? Fabio Vieira is the manager's fault more than the player's fault. I don't blame Fabio Vieira. Smith Rowe was here when he walked in. Fabio Vieira, you actually chose to go and sign him from somewhere for £35 million. So that one's even more baffling. Man said Emile Smith Rowe. People said he was eating a burger on the bench. I saw other people saying it was an apple. If he was eating a burger on the bench, then forget everything I've just said in the last 60 seconds. I can't defend it. You know, I know the new chicken Big Macs out at McDonald's if Donny was eating a burger on the bench, then no wonder he didn't bring you on. But I'm going to stick by him, and I'm going to say it was an apple. There's people saying it's an apple. There's people saying it's a burger. I'm saying it's an apple. If he's smashing a burger 60 minutes into the game, then, you know, I have no defence left for Smith Rowe. Are you fit, bruv? Kind of goes out the window. We might have to get a picture of that, actually, and try and figure out, do we think it was a burger or do we think it was an apple? Because, you know, that's kind of, I mean, people are tweeting. I'm typing in here, Smith Rowe burger. Smith Rowe burger. I feel bad that people are accusing him of that. I'm going to ask him in America, yo, bro, was you eating a burger? Right, let's have a look. Let's get this video up. Smith Rowe. I'm going to get the picture up. I want the community to decide. Was it an apple or was it a burger? If it's a burger, his career could be over. Right.
It's going to happen sides.
Here he is, in the background. He's even, like... Do you know what, yeah? I'm not going to lie, yeah. No, listen, Latte said, why is he eating? You need a bit of energy, man. Listen, do you know the thing that makes it seem like it could be a burger? You know what? We've all been there, man. You're in the classroom and, you know, you're not supposed to be eating, but you might be eating a chocolate bar or something. It's the fact he's, like, ducking down behind the school teachers. It looks like that. But I need to zoom. Can't I zoom in more than that? I can't lie, Emile. It don't look good, but I'm backing you, bro. I'm backing you. That can't be a burger. I don't know. It looks kind of yellow. It kind of... I don't know what that is. The fact he's ducking down like he's hiding from the maths teacher to smash a chicken Big Mac. I don't know. It don't look good. It looks like he's sneaking a bite, man. It's an apple because of the way he's holding it. I don't know. If he was eating an apple, I'd kind of just sit up and eat the apple. But the fact he's leaning down, you know, I think that's a Big Mac. I think it's the new chicken Big Mac, people. I'm telling you, man, I think he's... And the thing is, if it's a burger, I've got so many questions to ask. It could be a patty, you know, he's mixed race. Maybe he's got a little jerk chicken patty. But, you know, if he's eating a burger, there's so many questions. Like, how did you get the burger in there? Like, what have you done? Put it in the pocket? Did you have it in your pocket while you was warming up? I don't know. Like, there's so many questions. Listen, I'm joking here, of course, at this point. Information and entertainment. Listen, if Smith Rowe's mashing a burger during the game, then, you know, it ain't going to happen for him. But no, I'm sticking by him. It's an apple. It has to be an apple. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy into the accusations that he's eating a burger, man. Smith Rowe, you know what I mean? Respect my bro. You always give me interviews on tour. He needed his protein. Man got Uber Eats at half time. Man's turning up at the stadium to drop him off a meal, man. It's mad. It's literally a meal, Smith Rowe. It really is. Anyway, let's leave it at that. I don't want to start off any rumours. Is it I reckon it's an apple. I reckon it's an apple, man. Definitely. It's got to be. Maybe an apple pie. Who knows? Anyway, let's leave it at that. Let's move on. What are we going to talk here? Let's talk the Chelsea game. Chelsea. I want to get one thing abundantly clear about tomorrow night's game. This is a hard game. Right? And I don't want any Arsenal fan having the mindset that Chelsea are ninth and they're rubbish. If we wasn't playing them, I would say that Chelsea are ninth, they're rubbish. But because we're playing them, I'm going to protect my energy, people. Too much jealousy. I see no man turn. Who says that song? Dig-a-dig. I need to protect my energy. I'm going to protect my energy, people. Chelsea won't be easy. Trust me. Chelsea can still actually get in the Europa League. They're 3 points behind Newcastle in 6th with a game in hand. If they win the game in hand, they're 6th. They're in Europa League. They need to get something. They need to get in Europe. They're not just going to roll over. They're unbeaten in their last 5 games. They've won 3 of their last 5. Also, they've got a lot of energy in their team. Like, this ain't no slow team that are just, So I'm being honest here. Even though I've trolled and laughed at Chelsea a lot this season, don't, buy into this thought process that, they're ninth, they're just easy work. They lost 1-0 to Man City in the FA Cup. And let's be honest, if Nicholas Jackson could finish, Chelsea would be in the FA Cup final. Because that guy's shooting ability, I mean, they better get the RSPCA outside the Emirates. Because this guy, he's hitting pigeons, dogs, everything. They beat Everton 6-0 in their last league game. They drew with Sheffield United, which was a shocking result. They beat Man United 4-3. And they drew with Burnley, and they beat Leicester, and they beat Newcastle. And do you know what? Before the game against Man City, they hadn't lost since the 25th of February, which was the Carabao Cup final. They haven't lost in the league since the 4th of February. That is unbelievable. Chelsea haven't lost in the league since the 4th of February when they lost to Wolves. So, listen, we shouldn't be fearful of them. We're better than them. If we play well tomorrow night, we will beat them. But what I'm saying is, if we turn up and just think, it's Chelsea, they're ninth, we'll get a rude awakening. So I hope Mikel has given them that thought process, This ain't going to be easy work. But I do think we can beat them. And Cello said, watch Jackson turn into R9 tomorrow. I've seen it. Like I said, I remember the PTSD. Crystal Palace at home. Unai Emery. Chasing top 4. I'm driving in to the car park. Parked up. The guy on the radio. Christian Benteke has not scored for the last... He said something crazy like 1,000 minutes of football. And I'm like, yeah, Benteke, mate, he's rubbish. 5 minutes later, Benteke scores and does the LeBron James celebration against Arsenal. So I'm not going to say too much about Nicholas Jackson because we all know how that can work out. So I'll keep it quiet. But yeah, I did say the other day, Janet Jackson's probably better up front than Nicholas Jackson. But we need to beat these. It's a great opportunity for us to put pressure on Man City. If we win, Man City go to Brighton on Thursday, we would be 4 points clear of Man City. They'd have 2 games in hand. We only need them to draw 1 game. If we can win our remaining games, we could win the title on goal difference, which is unbelievable. So, listen, we're going to go into more detail regarding that game. Let me read out your super chats. A few of them mounting up. 2,000 of you in the chat. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Gavin said, need a limp and hair flick counter next season. Southern Gooner, big up Matt. He said, we cannot be goofing off with Chelsea tomorrow. His next 2 matches are must win, not draws, wins. We're going to be Spurs Cup final. So we'll have to bring, 100%. What more, and I know that's later on in the week and we'll talk about that a lot more, but what more motivation could Spurs have than to... Number 1, they're trying to get top 4. And number 2, they could end our assault on winning the Premier League. Their motivation's going to be through the roof. Destiny Udogie, who I think is, honestly, he's one of the best left-backs in the Prem. He's been ruled out for the rest of the season, which is, listen, obviously we don't wish injury on any player, but that's, for Saka, especially with the way he's playing, he's probably going to be playing against Ben Davis instead of Udogie, which is a massive drop in quality. So, that's, obviously Saka needs to punish them for Udogie not being available. Emmanuel said 7 for Jesus. The Trossard goal was all about him. He did well to bring the ball down and pass it to him, but Trossard had a lot to do. Look at the way he finished it. But do you know why I didn't rate Jesus highly? Because Jesus getting into goal-scoring situations and not shooting. That one where he got it on the edge of the box, he had a clear shot. And you could just see he had no confidence. He turned round and tried to give it to Odegaard and lost the ball. I think his confidence as a goal scorer is shot to pieces. Palmer, 4 goals in a match. Jesus, 4 goals all season, says Latte. Bro, it's facts. It's fact. It's harsh reality, people. It's harsh reality. Leza said ESR has to play the Spurs game means more. I can't see him playing. Curtis, I see a rapper, said Eros. What are you saying? There's a burger rapper there on the picture. ESR. And Troy said, what do players when getting benched? What do players think when getting benched after man of the match? You think that manager doesn't like you. That's what you think. And he can say anything he wants about Smith Rowe, how much he loves him. He don't check for him. It's as simple as that. Anyway, a couple of things I want to talk about before we get into the transfer news. And obviously, we'll try and get the press conference reaction with Arteta. The press conference only finished 20 minutes or about half an hour ago. There was some breaking news today. I wouldn't get too excited for this. I've seen this before. But Chelsea, during Pochettino's press conference this morning, he confirmed that Cole Palmer is a doubt for the Arsenal game because of illness. And he has missed training today for Chelsea. They will see whether he's available tomorrow, but he's a doubt at the moment. I wouldn't get too carried away with this. Apparently, he's got a heavy cold, it was described as. Listen, they will get him on the pitch, man. You know, I can tell you now, it's raining today. It's cold. When you've got a cold and you feel a bit under the weather, you don't go outside and train in that. You get inside, honey and lemon. By the next day, you're good. I have no doubt he will be playing tomorrow. I mean, they actually call him Cold Palmer, so I'm not surprised he's got a cold. He's been playing ice cold this season, and I know you shouldn't do this. This isn't fair to do this, but it's just the reality of football. You look at Cole Palmer and you think £40 million, right? A player that Mikel Arteta would have known from Manchester City. And you think, imagine if we'd signed him instead of Havertz. Do you know what I mean? And I hate to always bring it back to Havertz. It's purely because of how much we paid for him. And, the summer just gone, it's still very relevant. Palmer can play behind the striker. He can play as the striker. He can play on the right. He can play on the left. He's 21. He's English. He's got 20 goals. He takes penalties. The fact that we went to Manchester City and bought Zinchenko and bought Gabriel Jesus, yet you had a guy there like Cole Palmer who cost 40 million and we didn't get him, or 35 million, people say. It's crazy. It is crazy. But listen, I hope he doesn't play tomorrow. He has been ice cold on the pitch. And, he's having a great season, so I really hope he isn't playing. Saliba said, stop it, Curtis Mikel. He's generational. You're not allowed to question his decisions. Yeah, we know that, mate, especially on Twitter. 21 and he's savage. Broads, he's in here with the dad jokes. Just forgive him. As I said, he's a young Patrick Truman out of EastEnders, man. I'm convinced. Cold World. Well, J. Cole, man, I tell you, bro, when you apologise, all that Cold World talk goes out the window, Has Aubameyang hit 25 goals? I think he has in Germany. I think for Arsenal, he got 29 in all comps, so I think his highest ever. I'm not sure what his highest was at Arsenal in a league season. I know he just got in the semi-final. What's his highest season with Arsenal? Are you joking? What? Them numbers cut. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong club. Jeez, I was going to say they're a bit low. Yeah, 22 league goals in 2018-19 and 2019-20. He got 29 in all comps. Hopefully Havertz scores tomorrow. Listen, Havertz, by the way, his motivation should be sky high for this game. You left Chelsea. Now you're playing them back at the Emirates. You got an opportunity to win the league. And also, you can end any hope of them getting in Europe. Havertz should be very motivated for this game. But let's pick the team for tomorrow. Let's pick the team for tomorrow. I miss Aubameyang as well. I know you always used to call me Aubameyang's lawyer, people. Can you imagine prime Aubameyang in this team? Jeez. With the amount of chances that we create, he'd win the Golden Boot. Let's pick the team for tomorrow. We'll pick our team. Then we'll pick the team that they're going to pick. I think we've got one problem tomorrow. I'm going to get to it. The rest, the manager can solve the problem, but he may not solve it. Let's see. David Raya, of course, will be in goal. Ben White will be at right back, no problem. 2 centre-backs, Gabriel and Saliba. Cool. This is my issue about tomorrow. My issue is this. Whether you rate Cole Palmer or not, you have to respect what he's doing at the moment. You don't have to rate a player, but you have to respect their work. Dre said if Aubameyang was still here, we'd have won the league last year and this year. I'd probably agree with that, 20 goal a season striker last year, we win the title. And I think we'd have won it this year. But I actually think this year, not even just Oba, just a quality goal scorer, I think we'd be 6-7 points clear at the top. That's a whole other scenario. Whatever we think about Cole Palmer, and I think he's a baller, by the way, he's going to be a problem. And we've got a problem at left back. Now, what's the problem with Tomiyasu? He didn't play. He was left out with a knock. So is he not fit enough? Me, I would be playing Tomiyasu at left back all day long. Good 1v1 defender. And he's there for when Cole Palmer cuts inside. It will be onto Tomiyasu's stronger side. Tomiyasu probably isn't going to play. If he was injured on Saturday, is he going to be fit by Tuesday? And even if he is fit, is he not going to be 100%? And this manager seems to trust Zinchenko and Kivior. I'm going to leave it down to this. If Tomiyasu is not available, who do you play out of Kivior and Zinchenko? Like which one's better out of them two? I don't know. I don't know which one's worse, which one's better. I tend to think Kivior's probably the better defender. Zinni may be better on the ball. I don't know. I think Kivior will play. Timber isn't fit. By the way, Timber is playing tonight for the under-21s. It's live on the website, I believe, at 7 o'clock, I think. They're playing Blackburn. So if you've got some free time later on, check out the website, the Arsenal website, and Timber is playing for the under-21s tonight. Yeah, you got to go with Kivior. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't want to play either one of them, Kivior or Zinchenko. At least Kivior, at least he is a natural defender. It doesn't fill me with optimism, though, that's for sure. I'm kind of... Havertz at left back, yeah, why not? Kivior, Zinchenko defensively, I'd say equal going forward. Yeah, I don't like that situation. If Tomiyasu's fit, play him. Put Saka at left back. Well, he came through there, didn't he? Timber going to beast those kids, my Dutch brother, said Harrison. Your defence in trouble. We should start Eddie, who will bag against Chelsea. Nah, Eddie, mate, he's done. He's done at Arsenal. I'd put Saka left wing back, Blanco right wing back, Kivior, Gabby and Saliba. 3 at the back. Kivior needed this run of games to build himself into a Prem player. Is he an Arsenal-level Prem player? But listen, he's going to play. If Tomiyasu's fit, play Tomiyasu. If not, you go with Kivior. You do not play Zinchenko. You just don't. Especially against Palmer if he's fit. Saka could play at left-back, but he will never do that. Midfield is quite simple, and I'm bored of saying it, and it won't happen, but we can hope. Just do it, please. Just do it. And I'm not advertising Nike. Mikel, why not? Why not, Mikel? Just play Partey and Rice double pivot. Let me tell you something. Chelsea got a lot of energy in midfield. Enzo, Gallagher, Caicedo, they are energetic. They're not playing great, but they run. That's why they cause Chelsea problems. 2 draws in the league, because they run. And Rodri struggled with the pace, and Bernardo struggled with the pace. They can run. I don't want to see Jorginho at the bottom of this midfield with a high-energy midfield. I don't want to see it. And I don't want to see Kai Havertz playing in midfield. I don't want to see that. He'll be in the team somewhere. You have got to play a midfield that can cope with their midfield. On the ball, they haven't been amazing this season, but they run. They are energetic. Now, Jorginho, I'm trying to think, what will Arteta play? What do you guys think Arteta will play? Partey doesn't look at it. He hasn't played enough. He played 20-odd minutes against Sheffield United. He played 20-odd minutes. No, he played about 11 minutes against Wolves. He played 20-odd minutes against Bayern. And he played 70 minutes against Luton. That's 4 games now. 3 off the bench and 1 start. I mean, he can't be that far away from starting now. Yeah, he's not 100%, but my argument would be I'd take an 85% Partey over 100% Jorginho. I think he's still better than him. He'll squeeze Havertz in this team somewhere. I think he will. I don't think he will play. I don't think he will play Partey from the start. I just don't. I think he will go because it's Chelsea. I think he'll probably be interesting. You can't play Declan Rice in a single pivot against Chelsea. Surely not. The front three for me, what I would pick, and you've probably already guessed it from the way I was chatting, I would play Trossard up front in the false 9. I'd play Saka on the right. As much as he's annoying, you've still got to play him, haven't you? You've still got to play him. And hope he does something. On the left, yeah, I'm going Martinelli. You could stick Jesus out there, but we're at home. I feel we've got to take the game to them, and I think I'd go with the pacey option just to give us that. But I think that team beats Chelsea quite comfortably, to be honest. Chelsea have just lost an FA Cup semi-final. Their confidence will be low. In reality, Havertz will be in the team somewhere. Jorginho will be in the team. I think he will play a double pivot. He'll play Jorginho. Trossard scored a belter. Right? Will he drop Jesus? Martinelli probably won't play. He'll probably play Trossard and Havertz. I reckon he'll probably play that. And maybe drop Jesus. I reckon he'll play that. The 2 ex-Chelsea players. Something along those lines, I reckon he'll play. Trossard scored a belter. Surely you shouldn't drop him. What do you guys think? We know Trossard isn't going to play up top. No. Martinelli's pace will help against Gusto. Gusto's not bad, but he pushes on. I think his pace would hurt them. You guys are lucky no Palmer, no Gusto. They got injured yesterday. Could be mind games. If it's logical, the manager won't do it. It's going to be interesting what team he picks. That will be the lineup. Yeah, I think he'll play Jorginho next to Rice. And I think Havertz will be up top. I think because Trossard scored a very good goal, he'll get another start. But he'll play him out wide, I reckon. Please don't play Havertz in midfield. Anyway, before we wrap up, people, bit of transfer news. And let's see what... yeah, Daily Dusan. I don't know how. But it always manages to find its way back onto this channel, don't it? Anytime we're linked with a striker, Daily Dusan. Just sign him. Just sign him for banter at this point. Like, we were linked with Lacazette for years, and eventually we signed him. We was linked with Aubameyang for years, and we eventually got him. We never got Yanam Villa, Gonzalo Higuain, Karim Benzema, or Julian Draxler, or Luis Suarez, who we were linked with for years. But we're still out here apparently trying to get Dusan Vlahovic. Graham Bailey has written some long report saying that Arsenal are going to make a move for Vlahovic again, and that Mikel Arteta is a massive fan of him. He's got 2 years left on his deal. All the talk was that he was going to sign a new contract. He said openly that Juventus is his dream club. It's the club he always wanted to play for. He's got 16 goals in 28 games, 4 assists this season, 3 goals in the Europa League. Oh, no, they were last season. But yeah, 16 goals, 4 assists. Apparently him and Allegri not getting on very well. 4 years now without a title for Juventus. And there's a belief that they may have to shake things up this summer and get rid of a few players. I mean, Dusan, I think 2 years ago, this was probably, if you can, go and get him. For me now, if I'm writing a list of strikers, he's nowhere near the top of that list for me. I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't think it's the guy that we should be going all out for. I'm sure he's under consideration, and I'm sure Arsenal have a long list of strikers, but I would not be going for Dusan Vlahovic, and I think there are better options. I think there's players in better form, and I think sometimes you got to look at the reason why a player wants to join you. He never had any motivation to come to Arsenal. You know, he might come to Arsenal now because Juventus are struggling, and leave him there and let him figure things out. He's not a bad player, not a bad player at all, but I don't think he's. I think he's in that Tielemans bracket. 2 years ago, you're trying to get top four, Vlahovic, Yuri Tielemans. Yeah, man, you're hyped for them signings. When you're trying to win the title, I think you got to move up a level. So, listen, if we got him, I'll cap and pretend he's a top player, but nah. It's like the girl that dished you when you didn't have money and now she sees you in a nice car and she's hollering at you, you know? Relax yourself, man. I've upgraded, man. Move yourself. You know what I mean? So, I think he fits our system. Good finish it. I think the motivation. I'm going to be honest, right? Isak I think he's made for Arsenal. I think Isak's. I've watched a lot of these strikers over the last few months, right? Because we've been linked with strikers galore. You know me, I'm a big fan of Ivan Toney, but even I've calmed down a little bit with that one. But I would still take him. Osimhen, he's got the pedigree, but the eye test still doesn't fully convince me he's a £110 million player. I like Gyökeres, but I just worry when a player's had 1 year in a league, and I'm like, is that enough? Like, you know, Darwin Núñez had a great year in Portugal. He struggled in this country. So do you go all out for Gyökeres, who was in the Championship a year and a half ago? I think when you're spending 80, 90, 100 million on a player, you've got to know what you're getting. You don't want to be guessing. And look at Declan Rice. We all kind of knew what he was going to be. He's probably been a little bit better than that. And I know Isak, I've spoke about it a number of times. The injuries concern me. But he's just such a good player. It's the way he plays football. He's absolutely brilliant to watch. I've got to be honest. Isak is he's probably one of the most entertaining strikers in the Premier League to watch. Isak. And you know what? I'm going to actually try and restore the faith a little bit. Last season, he missed 16 games for Newcastle. This season, he's missed so far 8 games. So he's missed 24 games in 2 seasons. That's a worry. However, just to restore faith a little bit, in the 3 years he played for Real Sociedad, he missed 1 game in the first season. He missed 4 in the second season. He missed 6 in the third season. So he only missed 11 games in 3 seasons, but he's missed 24 in 2 at Newcastle. Now, the only worry you've got there, though, is does that mean the Premier League is taking a physical toll on his body and it's so physical he can't cope with it? I think Isak, if you said to me now, what striker you bring into Arsenal? I'm going for Isak. Somebody just said it there. When he was at Sociedad, Odegaard was the 10. Knows him well. Playing in the Premier League. Speaks the language. I think he'd be outstanding in the Arsenal team. Good age as well. I think he'd be brilliant. The problem we've got, I don't think Newcastle are going to sell him. Like you're saying, a lot of your bros just said worthy of the 14. Nicholas 4. Listen, you sell Eddie Nketiah for 25 million. You buy Isak for about 90 million. You take off the Eddie money. You've basically swapped Eddie and 65 million for Isak. That's an absolute bargain. Not that Newcastle would take Eddie, of course, but you sell him to Palace or Brentford or someone like that. The problem you've got, I think you're going to have to perform miracles to get him out of Newcastle. And this is a big part of the reason. And Dre said, I've been telling you about him for time. I hear you. Ben Jacobs, friend of the channel, we're going to get him on soon. He said, despite having a 100 million release clause, 90 Minute understands there is a verbal agreement. Bruno Guimaraes will be allowed to talk to a Champions League club that offers below his release clause, will be engaged providing they exceed 80 million. I mean, the other day it said 75 million. Now he's saying 80 million. Newcastle need to sell somebody this summer by the looks of it to balance the books. The problem you've got, Callum Wilson's going to go this summer by the look of it. Newcastle can't afford to then sell Isak and Wilson and have no striker. I think it's a lot easier for them to sell Bruno Guimaraes, especially if you can get 75 or 80 million for him. Now, personally, I like Bruno Guimaraes. I'd take him at Arsenal. 80 million feels a little bit heavy, but when you've paid 105 for Deckers and 115 Caicedo went to Chelsea, this is going to be the going rate. I know a lot of people say, you know, he's dirty and stuff like that, but I think we need a little bit more of that in Arsenal. Imagine Bruno Guimaraes, Declan Rice and Odegaard as our midfield. Yo, that's a serious midfield. And then imagine if we had Isak and Saka and Rafael Leao on the left or someone like that. But somebody just said he's put a bit of weight on. I think he's a good player. He starts for Brazil. I'd take him. Mid-20s, knows the league. He'd ball out at Arsenal, man. But yeah, this Bruno sale will probably stop anyone getting Isak. They don't need to sell both. And they probably look at Bruno as more replaceable than Isak. So I think if you're Arsenal, you would have to absolutely break the bank to get Isak. I think you'd have to pay 100 million for him. 90 to 100 million. I think you'd have to make that offer early in the window and then hope that Isak goes crazy and puts in a transfer request to come to Arsenal. The good thing is, Newcastle might not even get in Europe next season. They're having a pretty average season. And at the moment, they are currently 6th, which would get them in the Europa League. But, you know, they're level with Man United. Chelsea can go above them, potentially, if they win their games. West Ham are still about. You know, Isak is not going to want to stay at Newcastle in the Conference League or maybe not in Europe altogether. So, this is where you're supposed to put the pressure on these clubs. I've said this before and I've said it again. I want Arteta to get the striker that he wants. I don't want us to buy Sesko because he's cheap and he's 42 million, but really he wanted Gyökeres or he wanted Osimhen or he wanted Isak. If Arteta wants Isak, pay the money for Isak. If it's 100 million, pay 100 million. That's how much it's going to cost to get a top striker. We paid 105 million for a DM from West Ham. None of us care now. Declan Rice been outstanding. A top striker potentially wins us the title. So pay the money. Why not go to Newcastle and just say, listen, there's 175 million. There's 180 million pounds. We'll take Isak and we'll take Bruno. We'll take them both. Leave us a little 40, 50 million to go and get a backup goalkeeper and a right winger. Transfer window done. Keep it moving. Timber at left back. Bruno in midfield. Sell Ramsdale. Sell Nketiah. Sell ESR, sell Reece Nelson, make your money back. Do you know what I mean? It can happen. You can do it. But listen, obviously Newcastle are not going to sell those two players. Go and get Fofana. You know me, I'm a big fan of Fofana. Probably get him for 40 million from Monaco. Arsenal, I think there's a possibility Arsenal could break their transfer record this season. I think they could spend 100 million plus again on another player. If they're going to go for a top player, it's going to cost big, big money. So, listen, let's see. I would rather sign Isak than Bruno, but Bruno Guimaraes would be good. Christian said, Emile should be playing in France. They are sponsored by Uber Eats. Nah, don't do that to him, man. It was an apple, people. Ching Ching Guna said, if Isak is already injury prone, imagine what he would become with us. The thing is, though, bro, we've signed players who aren't injury prone, like Partey, and they still end up injury prone. So, maybe we'll just put it down to bad luck and he was adjusting to the league. Like I said, at Sociedad, Isak wasn't injury prone. Gunnar Roller said, if Newcastle truly want Ramsdale, according to rumours, we have a great chance for Isak and or Bruno. And that would be a great bit of business, you know. If you could go and get Bruno, let's say we value Ramsdale at 30, 35 million. You maybe pay 45 million plus 45 plus Ramsdale for Bruno. 65 plus Ramsdale for Isak, you know. They need a keeper, so we've got. I think the positive thing is Nah. But yeah, when I'm saying Bruno, I'm definitely not talking about Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle. I think the good thing for Arsenal this summer is that we can get a lot of money for our players that we're selling this summer. So we have no excuse. I think we'll definitely get rid of Ramsdale. I think we will get rid of Nketiah. I think Nelson, they'll be open to offers. I think Fabio Vieira, they would let go at the right price. I think Smith Rowe would go. Cedric and El Neni will be released. Jorginho might go. Yeah, a lot of you just put that in the comments. West Ham are in talks to appoint Ruben Amorim from Sporting Lisbon. This is the guy that everyone was saying that Liverpool were going for. Number one, that's crazy, isn't it? West Ham, in the top 7, top 8, Europa League quarter-final. But Moyes, I suppose, the style of football, they don't like it. Liverpool, man, losing all their targets. They're going to end up with Steven Gerrard as manager, man. You know what I mean? Xabi Alonso said, no, I'm staying. And now Amorim's being linked with West Ham. Jeez, Liverpool, you better make a move. I wonder if they're going all out secretly to convince Klopp to stay for another year. Wouldn't surprise me, but yeah, they might end up with Stevie Gerrard. People, thank you very much for tuning in today. Really appreciate your support. I'm going to do press conference reaction tomorrow because the transcript isn't on the website yet on mine. I've just refreshed it. So I'll be back tomorrow, press conference reaction and watch along. 8 o'clock kickoff will be live around 7. Arsenal against Chelsea. Make sure you're locked in. It's the key week for Arsenal. If we win our 2 games this week, I think we'll be unbeaten for the rest of the season. I'm saying that now. I think if we beat Chelsea and beat Tottenham, we'll win our remaining games. I think we'll beat Man United at Old Trafford. We'll beat Bournemouth and we'll beat Everton at home. So this is the week. This is the week. People saying the transcript's on there now. Hold on. Don't go anywhere, people. Don't go anywhere. If it's there, we'll do it now. No rush. I just refreshed on the transcript. It wasn't showing up on the website. Some people just said there. It's there now. Let's have a look. Oh, new merch. The North Bank Collection. Oh, yeah. There we go. Don't go anywhere. Sit back down, people. Sit back down. What do you mean? Sit back down. What do you mean? Don't go nowhere. Let's do it now. I can't let you go without your waffle, people. 10 more minutes. Right, there it is. Let's get the waffle in before we get out of there. Yeah, Arsenal fixtures. I think if we win those 2 games this week, we'll win the last 4. Ignore that Man United one at the bottom there. That's pre-season in LA. Chelsea, Tottenham, then Bournemouth at home, Man United away, Everton at home. I think this is the key week. I think we win every game if we win those 2. I'm going to be honest. I think the confidence that we would take from beating Chelsea and Tottenham will brush Bournemouth. Well, I say that. Reece Nelson, last-minute goal last year. I think we'd beat Man United at Old Trafford. And then Everton at home last game. So, listen, 5 wins out of 5. You never know, people. That Tottenham game's the biggest hurdle for me. Their motivation will be through the roof. Anyway, let's finish off with some waffle. If you're peckish, you will be full by the time this finishes. The pre-match one is always much longer and much more waffle. He's smiling this time. The beard's a bit, shaved. Oh, I think there's a few greys there. I'm telling you, this managerial life is stressful, Mikel. It is stressful. I know. I've won multiple titles on Football Manager. It's not easy. Anyway, I've been watching a lot of basketball over the weekend in the playoffs, by the way, man. Anthony Edwards has slowly this season become one of my favourite players in basketball. The way the guy dealt with Kevin Durant, man. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then I was watching... What was I watching last night? Clippers against Mavericks. But hey, anyway, let's finish with... and Garcia, man. What a fight that was. Lillard, 35 points first half. Didn't he get 35 in the first half, but then, no points in the second half? But good win without Giannis. Anthony Edwards, he's got to be Michael Jordan's kid, man. He plays like him and everything. Anyway. Cruz was happy because Boston Celtics battered Miami Heat, man. The Celtics are too good. Right, let's go. On the message to the players this week. I mean, such a boring question. What message do you give to the players? Keep focused and win your 2 games. You're not going to say, well, just let the league slip, mate, so we can book our holidays. I don't even want to do the answer. Same message, keep going, doing what you've been doing. That's a shocking question. How much character the team is showing. It was a good test. See how they reacted to certain obstacles. How much we want it, basically. What we are capable of doing. Skip it. Boring. On Cole Palmer being a doubt for the game, he said, I don't know. We have no control over the players' availability. We can only control ours. Whoever they put out, when you look at the squad, the quality they have, it's great. They're doing very, very well. That is some patronising answer, bro. They're 9th and out of every competition. They are not doing very, very well. They're doing rubbish. On if he's surprised by Chelsea's league position, I think the journey of those clubs are different. Nothing to compare in my opinion. It's a huge admiration for Maurizio. I've known him since 23 years ago. There's your answer, you see. He was with Maurizio Pochettino when he played for PSG. So he's not going to disrespect Chelsea. He's going to say they're doing very, very well, even though they're 9th. Yeah, good one. So that's cap for your brethren. On Nottingham Forest tweet yesterday, I don't know, I'm not involved in that. I've been involved in a few and that's nothing for me to comment. I want to comment on that briefly. I think now, I think clubs have given up. I saw Gary Neville criticising Forest for that statement. But ultimately, to be honest, do you know what I like in football? I like brutal honesty. Because football is full of PR, full of answering without answering, full of just politician answers. Forest turned around and said, 3 penalties in that game, not one of them was given. And the VAR guy is a Luton Town fan. And they're in a battle with Luton Town. So they came out and said, listen, we're not happy. The guy who gave the decision's a Luton fan. We can't believe they didn't give a penalty. We're going to take action. I got no problem with that. To get relegated, you are going to lose millions. Millions. Imagine Arsenal having 3 blatant penalties and not one of them's given. And we find out the guy running VAR is a Man City fan with Sean Goater tattoo on his arm. Come on, man. Speak up on it. There's too much capping. I love brutal honesty in management. I like managers that talk it, players. There's too much, we'll say it, but not really. Say what you feel, man. So, yeah. Brutal honesty, man. I respect it. They all speak like politicians. Boris Johnson. On our call for improvement in officiating, he said, I don't know. I think we're all trying to improve the game in the best possible way. We're all aligned. Things are going to happen in the future. On if it's fair our referees are selected, he said, I don't know. We aren't involved in that. On how big the win was at Wolves in terms of size, it was quite good. It really meant a lot to us. We're in a great position in the Prem. We've been like this for 9.5 months. We really want to give it a real go. We're determined to get our hands to lift that trophy. Tomorrow we're going to have a tough opponent. And if the margins are tighter for the title this season, I mean they are. We was 8 points clear. Usman said, Big C are the real GOAT, bro. Bruno Rice Odegaard is the dream midfield unless we can bring Tchouameni or Camavinga or Bellingham. Oh, man, what about Bellingham again, man? He's just so clutch, isn't he? 93rd minute winner against Barcelona. Can you believe in the Clásico they had no goal line technology and Barcelona saying the ball was over the line? It's crazy. They use their mad 8K cameras in La Liga. Camera quality is unbelievable. And you have not got goal line technology for one of the biggest games on the planet. Insane. Absolutely insane. Bellingham is him. And I hate to say it, but Edu scuppered the deal. He was signing for us from Birmingham. Edu said 15 million was too much. Thanks a lot, Edu, mate. Then he signed Cedric on a 4-year deal. Gave El Neni a new contract. And released Aubameyang for free. And then high-five Richard Garlick. While he scored 13 goals in half a season at Barcelona. And then high-fived Richard Garlick as we finished outside the top 4, but, I don't like to talk about it. Anyway, let's move on. Edu, man, Edu, what are you doing? On what he has made of Chelsea. Huge improvements. I think they deserve to be in a higher position. Okay, covering up for Maurizio, yeah? I think what Maurizio is doing is really impressive. It is impressive, Mikel. He spent $1 billion and finished ninth. That is impressive. David Blaine would struggle to make £1 billion disappear, bro. So, yeah. I know he's your friend. Ooh, friend. Ooh, PSG friend. Ooh, we speak about football in Spanish, friend. No, it isn't impressive. It isn't huge improvements. They won the Champions League 3 years ago. He spent $1 billion. He's ninth. He's a bum. He ain't doing nothing. He's a former Tottenham guy. He's allergic to trophies. So I'll tell you the answer he should have said, people. On if he enjoys facing Pochettino, he said, I have to play against him. He has to play against me. It's two huge clubs, a London derby, a massive game for us. On if officiating needs to change, he says, no, I think it will evolve. The game is evolving. I think the officiating will probably evolve. It's just like a Pokemon episode, that, innit? You know what I mean? On if VAR decisions are made quicker in Europe, he said, super fast. I was fascinated. In 2 seconds, you can see 5 different screens. I would like to review that process. Money, money, money. Money talks, people. Money talks. Dirty cash, I want you. Dirty cash, I need you more. Listen, I tell you all the time. What you have to understand, I say this all the time. We are one of the only countries in the world where the Football Association doesn't have complete control of their division. What I mean by that is this. In the Spanish league, La Liga runs that league, or Serie A is the company that runs the league. We have the FA, the Football Association, and we have the Premier League. The Premier League is a separate company. The Barclays Premier League, as they called it, right? It was set up early 90s to bring more revenue into this country because the league was suffering financially. So they just want the best product. They don't care if the refs are good. They want excitement. So it's totally different. On the fixture schedule needs to be changed. I gave my opinion last week. Yeah, he thinks there's too many games. Are the players close to being burned out? He said, I don't know. When I saw this morning, I had to stop them because winning as well is a big boost of energy. After the performance against Wolves and winning, and now having to play in the London derby, everyone is fit. I said it all the time. Winning fixes everything in football. You're tired, you win. You're not tired. You want the manager out, you win. Manager can stay. I don't rate that player. He scores, you win. Shamelessly, I rate him higher. It's football. People go, oh, you're a flip-flop. Yeah, you wanted Arteta out. Now you're celebrating a win. It's football. You sign a player, he plays bad, he's rubbish. He starts playing good, I've always rated him. It's football, man. And if referees from other countries should come to the Premier League, now that is absolutely something what needs to happen. I've said this time and time again. Stop thinking English football needs to just have English referees. I watch Champions League games and I go, it's a good referee, that. Strong, gives his decisions, lets the game flow. Bring them to the Prem. Go and get them. Saudi League are buying referees from other countries to come to their country. Prem should be going, yo, I want the best referee from that country. I want this referee. Stop with this English referees thing. Because a lot of them are fans of the clubs. And VAR's a shambles in this country. I seen Ian Wright. Ian Wright tweeted, get rid of VAR. VAR's not the problem. VAR doesn't sit there like a robot and give a stupid decision. The guy sitting in front of the VAR screen is the problem, bro. VAR is not the problem. VAR is a very good tool that should be brought in to help the game. The clowns sitting in front of it are the problem. And we don't get to hear the audio. I want to... If there's a penalty against Arsenal, I want to hear the explanation from the VAR official telling us why he hasn't given it. I don't want to watch a game and think, that's a stone cold pen. And they just say, VAR hasn't given it. Well, why not? Where's the explanation? Where's the transparency? I want to know why you didn't give that penalty. They do it in rugby. They're all mic'd up. We hear everything. MLS, rugby, Premier League, biggest sport in this country. Oh, it's a secret. Let's not let them hear the audio. What's the problem? Why can't we hear the audio? We know why. They don't want us to hear it. So, and I say it all the time. Listen, I probably just cost myself work with the Premier League, but They don't want us to hear it, people. It's as simple as that. Ask yourself why. Why does it take 5 minutes to give decisions that you watch it in one replay and you're like, that's a penalty? And they're looking at it 15 times. They're not giving it. And if he worked with Palmer at Man City, he said, no, he was too young. Fair enough. So he doesn't really know him. On our record against the biggest teams, what has changed psychologically? He said, whether it's psychologically or performance, it's getting better as a team. You win more against big teams, the more belief you can have to do it consistently. And if we go into the game as the dominant side, when you look at the history of what we've done in the last 20 years, there is a difference, a big difference. We need to do that, and we haven't done any of that yet. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying, people. Finally, you're talking my talk, bro. He said, when you look at the history of the last 20 years, they've won more than us. So we got to win. Win. I respect that answer. But then back your talk as well. But I like that. I'm glad he said that. Look at the history. When Chelsea dominated, they won major trophies. When United dominated, major trophies. Liverpool had a spell, trophies, big ones. Obviously, we did that under Wenger. But now, this is one of our times. We've got to win trophies. And this is what I said. People say Pep. Pep hasn't won the Carabao Cup this year. And Pep hasn't won the Champions League this year. He might win the FA Cup. Hopefully he doesn't win the Premier League. So it's not like City are winning 4 trophies every season. There's always trophies available. Kenny Fan TV said, big up Curtis, I have a YouTube channel now. Let's collaborate. One day we can call the podcast Sleeping Giants. Go and follow Kenny Fan TV. I said this the other day. Anyone got a YouTube channel or a Twitch channel or anything like that, feel free to promote it in the comments. Yeah, and listen, diversity as well with referees, you know. We talk about that for a long time. Number one, I mean, he said, why are there no black referees? Number one, it's a great question. Number two, I would also ask, how many black people are trying to become referees? But yeah, there are some, and why are they not getting promoted? I don't know. It's the same reason. It's the same question when they say, how come over a quarter of the players in the Premier League are black players and there isn't one black manager? You know, it's the difference. They'll trust you to be on the pitch and run around and score goals, but they won't give you the keys to their house, the chairman, and say, there you go and run my £1 billion football team. That's a whole different discussion for another day, though, people. I have to say, though, it doesn't help when you get black managers like Sol Campbell and Paul Ince, who are absolute clowns, by the way. But, yeah. But big up anyway. Right, anyway, let's get through this. On having more change on the left side of the team than the right. What does he mean? Oh, yeah, I thought he meant, yeah. Well, the fact is as well, we've had a lot of injuries. Obviously, the fact we haven't had Thomas Partey for 6 or 7 months has affected us. Declan in a different position. But I look at it as something positive that we have the possibility to change players and find different dynamics. Yeah, there's been a lot of inconsistency on that left-hand side. You know, when you look at it, most games it's Ben White and Saka on the right. On the left, it could be anyone. It could be Kivior, it could be Zinchenko, it could be Tomiyasu. In front, it could be, you know, it could be Trossard. You know, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It could be Martinelli. Uriah Rennie, yeah, that's the last black ref. He wasn't great either. On Chelsea's project, it's like, what a question. Total waste of a question. Hi, Mikel. What do you think about Chelsea's project? Who cares? Who cares? He said, I'm not the person. I can't talk about what we have done. Other clubs are entirely up to them. And if he would like to have £1 billion to spend in the transfer market, he said, depends. I like a lot what I have, and I'm very pleased with that. Oh, just be honest. Be honest. Ed, you think any manager doesn't want a... Mikel, would you like £1 billion to spend? He said, oh, it depends, you know, I'm not sure. You would want the $1 billion. Come on. We'd win the league if we had $1 billion. And if spending money guarantees success, said, I think it's a very short sample. If you look at the history of the Prem, in the 20 years that the clubs that have spent the most, what has happened, I think there is a big relation. With City, it worked. And if Chelsea will eventually come good, bro, this ain't a Chelsea press conference. So I'm convinced they will with that squad and that manager. Capping for his mate again. some of these questions are a waste of time. Do you think Chelsea will come good? And if Timber could be involved against Spurs on Sunday, he said that's a quick step. Let's see how he feels today. He's been training good. He looks ready. He needs that exposure. As I said, Timber is playing for the under-21s tonight. It's live on the website, Arsenal website, against Blackburn. I think it's 7 o'clock. And if the Euros with the Netherlands is too soon, he said, at the moment he looks far because he hasn't played any football. Let's see how he goes tonight. I reckon Holland will pick Timber. If he gets a few games for Arsenal, I think they'll take him. On why Odegaard has fulfilled his potential, he said, fulfill his potential, hopefully not. Hopefully there is still more to come. He's still very young. He's made huge steps. Yeah, he's not maxed out yet. Still a lot more to come from him. Watch the clip of the actress Anne Hathaway celebrating Trossard's goal during any interview. Gunnar, pre-season, lock him off. I don't know if Arsenal will have the choice. I think Holland can pick him and it kind of comes out of their hands. On how Martin lived up to his Wonder Kid brand, especially had to wear that label since he was 14 or 15. It's not easy, especially he went to Real Sociedad. It was intelligent. From there, he has took off. I'm glad this is over. How important he has been in the building. In relation to Odegaard, he said he's our captain. He's one of our main players. When you look at the impact he has with his daily, it's amazing. We are really happy to have him. I've said it a number of times. Martin Odegaard is one of the most important players in the Arsenal team because if he's not in the team, I have no real confidence that we're going to create big goal-scoring opportunities. He is absolutely vital to this team. And I actually think Arsenal could do with another creative player. Somebody that can go past people or, you know, create chances. He bought Fabio Vieira. That hasn't worked. He's hardly played. He bought Havertz. Havertz not really a creative player like that. Smith Rowe's creative. He can't get a kick. Would you like to see another creative player coming in the summer? You know, maybe a Eze or a, you know, somebody that can play a little bit further up the pitch and create chances. So I do think we have to take a little bit of the pressure off Odegaard. Bruce Wayne said Timber helps Martinelli's GA next season. Yeah, can you imagine a Timber and Martinelli left-hand side, you know? Maybe it could work. Will he play left back? Will he play right back? Who knows? Hopefully he gets over that ACL injury and gets back to normal. Maddison might have been good. Barella, very good player. I think Eze would be very good at Arsenal. Drifts past players, creates chances, scores goals. I think he would be good. Anyway, people, Paqueta as well, very good. I think he could be going to City. Thank you very much for tuning in. Really appreciate your support. A bit longer than usual. The press conference didn't go on the website till late. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow for the watch-along. Bless.